morning, this is Sheila coming to you from Stamping Wishes, and I just wanted to show you a card that was in one of our swaps. I just absolutely fell in love with it, our Glitter Queen swap. And this particular card was made by Ascension Guzman, and I just want to thank her for the idea of it, and we are making it in our class this month. And this is my version of it. Hers had a little bit different pattern of it, but I'm going to change up the color a little bit in the next card that we make. So let's go ahead and get started, but before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the inside. Sunshine to brighten your day. And this is one of the easel cards, so it can either stand up this way or just the way that it is. It stands up nicely even without this piece here. So let's go ahead this time and get started. All right, the supplies you're going to need is the in color DSPs. As you can see, they're just gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Love these new in colors. We're using the glimmer paper, which I am just absolutely in love with it. Look at those gorgeous colors. And we're going to use the Oasis, the Orchid Oasis. And as you can see, I've already cut out part of it from this particular sheet. We're also going to be using the painted texture dies, another favorite embossing folder. And I said die, I meant embossing folders. So we're going to be using this today. And I use my leftovers from my dies, because I do put my dies on magnets, to store my embossing folders whenever I can. And it keeps them neat and tidy and easy to find. But love, love this particular one. We're using the Sending Smiles, and this is the set. And remember, whenever you purchase it as a set, you'll get that 10% discount. So be sure and do that, because you're going to want all these beautiful, beautiful dies in here. All right, for this card, we're going to need a piece of cardstock. And let's go ahead and get our base ready. And that measures 4 1/4 by 11. And then we're going to go ahead and at one end of this, we're going to score it. I'm going to go ahead and do the scoring that we need to do for the, let me get this piece out here, that we need to do on the 11-inch side. We're going to do it at 5 1/2. Make sure you get your cutting blade out of the way. And then we're going to do it at 6. So let's pull 6 3/4. Let's pull that out. And another easy way to do this, of course, is to get your score. Another way to use this is using our Simply Score. This is another way, but since I had my cutting out here, I'm going to go ahead and use it. And then we want to do it at 6 3/4. Let's line that up there. And our last score will be done at 8 3/4. Very simple measurements. This is an easy card to make. Now, while we've got it in here, I'm going to turn it to the 4 1/4 inch side. Now, we need to make a little tick mark here for our cutting of the diamond shape that we're going to be using here. So I want to do that. Half of the 4 1/4 would be 2 1/8. So I'm going to line it up at the 2 1/8, and I'm going to bring my score piece over here. And I'm just going to come and make a little bit of a tick mark there with it. You can also do that with your pencil. Let's make sure I got it where I can see it. Nope, I did not. So we're going to go ahead and use a pencil. That way we can make sure we see it easier for the camera. All right, so now that we've made our 2 1/8, we're going to line up the 2 1/8 with the first score line that you come to, which is the score mark there. And then we're going to cut that. Okay? And then we're going to turn it the other way and line it up exactly the same way with our little tick mark and then our score line. Let's bring this over just a bit there. Make sure we got this still lined up right. And then we cut that off, and you discard those pieces. All right, so now you've got your base ready to go. And we'll want to fold it down as we do any other kind of card. And we'll do it this way and burnish it. And then we want to take this piece here, and this piece is going to go up, and that's where your triangle is going to fit on there. Okay, and then this piece will go down. So this is where you get the design for propping it up. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this aside for right now, and then we'll come back to that. The next thing you want to do is prep your card by getting everything stamped, and I'm using these particular flowers and a scrap of white. And the colors we're going to be using today is our Daffodil Delight, our Beautiful Sweet Sorbet, and then our Orchid Oasis. Okay, so I'm going to do and when you stamp on the scrap, be sure that because you are going to be doing die cutting, that you leave space between your flowers so that you're able to die cut. Again, use your foam. You're using photopolymer. You get a better impression. The ink will transfer much better if you'll use that foam piece. Okay, beautiful. And then we're going to use next, let's go ahead and close these up as we use them. We're going to do our Sweet Sorbet, and we're going to do this one and this flower. And I'll bring it down here. Hold it for a couple of seconds there for the ink to transfer. And let's go ahead and close this one up. This is the one I usually get on me, and I just noticed that I did get it. If it's a red, I'm going to get it on me. I don't care what I do or how I open it. I always manage to get the red on me. Alright, so now we're going to use the next flower, and we're using the Daffodil Delight. We'll place that over there. Alright, beautiful. And now, before we close it up, I'm going to put a little yellow center right in the center of the card, or in the center of the flower. Alright, so now let's go ahead and put our ink colors out. And to save time from leaving the camera, I am going to, I've gone ahead and cut those out before. So let's go ahead and move this off and bring our pieces out. Alright, so for making this card, you're going to need your 3 flowers, which I've cut out here. Let's find the other ones, this one and this one. Alright, you're using the glimmer paper. I cut out that beautiful parakeet party out, a little stem for that, for the flowers. I've done the sending in the, it looks like I didn't pop one out here, so let's go ahead and get that popped out. I did the sending in the Orchid Oasis. And when you're doing this one, you'll notice it has a little eye here. Well, before I lost the eye, as soon as I cut it out, this is the eye, I went ahead and put a little bit of glue on it and went ahead and put it on there so I wouldn't lose that little tiny piece. So that's just a hint you might want to do. So we've got that piece. And then we've got a 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and this is the one that I put through that painted textures. Isn't that gorgeous though? Let me bring it up a little bit. That is so pretty. And whenever you use a blending brush with some colors over it, you can get some really, really pretty background pieces here. Alright, you're going to need a 3 by 3 of the Orchid Oasis. You're going to need for your DSP, and this is the end colors, you're going to need, they're all 4 inches, this length, and then you're going to need one that is 1 7/8. You're going to need one that is 1 inch, and you're going to need one that's 3/4 inch. And what I like to do is, and as Essentia even showed, she mixed her prints up. So you could either do like, say, this print, design like this, because this is the way it's going to look, something like that. Or you could put that this way in your polka dots. See? So you get different looks for all of this. And I think for this one today, I'm going to do the polka dots on the main one and then the plaids on the others. And I just love that look. Alright? So let's go ahead and put those pieces on. We're going to start off with our 1 inch piece that's going to go here. So let's go ahead and put that down. And because I'm using the stamp seal, which, I mean, the minute you put that down, if you touch it down on there, it is there to stay. And as you can see, I got it off. That's why I should be using my glue when I'm doing the camera shots like this. But let's see if I can straighten it out. So far, so good. It's coming back up because I hadn't really sealed it that well. Alright, so we want to make sure that we're going to get an even all the way across. I don't know why I'm having trouble with this. I think it's the angle I'm looking at. That looks good. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put that down. And I think because I do need a little bit of movement room, I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid adhesive. Alright, let's bring this piece on over, and we're going to bring that, and I'm lining it up between the score lines. Okay. And when I've got this over here, because I'd lifted that up, I used up some of my adhesive when I pulled it back up again. So, all right. And then we're going to bend that up, and then our last piece will be going down here. So let's go ahead and put that on. But this is such a wow card, but as you can see, it's very easy. And if you get your prepping done beforehand, it just really comes together really quickly. All right, very nice. All right, so now we're going to put this piece together, and this is where we're going to adhere our painted texture piece. To our orchid oasis, like this. All right, very pretty. All right, so now we want to put on our flowers. The first thing I'm going to do is using this particular stem, I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to pop the rest up using dimensionals, okay? So let's go ahead and put our adhesive on here. All right, and you want your stem to kind of come down to the peak of this. So that looks good there. And because you do have texture on this piece here, you want to make sure that you are using your liquid glue or something strong where it can get in between the little grooves. Okay. Next, we're going to put this flower right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it up. And again, we're going to use the mini dimensionals to do that with. As I'm adding the dimensionals, I wanted to remind everybody this is our celebration period. We're on the last part of it. So remember we had a second selection of items come out. Some really, really pretty dies that you can get with your $100 order. If you haven't got a demonstrator and need one, I'd love to have you as a customer and earn your business. My party code for this month is shown above, the A67BJZGA. So be sure and use that. And now if you place an order that is greater than 150, then you'll want to do your own party on my site and get the benefits of the different items that you can get free. So anyway, just want to remind you of that. And also at the end of this video, I will be adding a brief scoring sheet that I use, not scoring sheet, I'm going to be adding a directional sheet that I give at my classes. And so if you're interested in using that, go on over to my blog. I'll have the PDF version. Here's some rhinestones. I'll use something out of here. Let me go ahead and pull those out. kind of improvised, but I did use rhinestones, or you can use pearls, anything that you have handy. Let's go ahead and use this. Bring out the orchid. And these are the Rhinestone Waves Basic Jewels. Alright, beautiful. Alright, so now we've got that. Now before I put my sending, which is this piece here, I like to go ahead and prop this up. And you're going to be fitting it right here. Now, when we do this, keep in mind that we only want the adhesive here. But before that, let's go ahead and you attach this area here, so this folds up. And I'm going to put my adhesive right here. We'll go ahead and use our stamp and seal for that. It's a good sturdy seal. We want to seal that down where this will stay. And this is the time that it would be a good idea for us to go ahead and stamp our greeting there. So let's go ahead and bring these out. And I think we'll use the Sunshine to Brighten Your Day, which is this one here. And just a trick, whenever I'm putting one of my stamps onto a block, I like to line it up on a grid line that I'm using, and then I come down with this and pick it up. That way it's already straight before I get started, and I don't feel like I'm going to have any issues with keeping it straight once I go to my card. So let's go ahead and stamp this up. And again, I'm going to line this up, kind of use a grid line, and come straight down. Beautiful. All right, so there we have our greeting on the inside. Let's put that aside. Sorry for that noise. I forget those blocks make so much noise, but they do. And let's go ahead and, so this is a mechanism, I want to have it strong, so I'm going to go ahead and use my stamp and seal on it, and I want to line up my corner right there to give me my little diamond shape here. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. And so now we need to put our sending on there. And my hint for putting your sending portion on this will be on the many dimensionals that we'll use here. My apologies, my film evidently stopped filming while I was finishing up the card. But what I was trying to tell you is that whenever you're placing the sending on, use your mini dimensionals behind the D and each end, and that way it will balance it. Until next time, thank you and have a blessed day.